Hello, and welcome to episode 58 of the XboxEra podcast. I'm sorry we were off to a slightly later start than usual. That's my fault. Nick isn't impressed. Speaking of Nick, joining me as per usual is Special Nick.
What's going on?
Hey! And in his debut XboxEra mainline podcast, and not that other, spin-off that he occasionally appears on, is Jesse Norris, aka Doncabesa. How you doing?
I am doing well. How are you?
I have to admit, I'm a little bit like all over the place because obviously we were just running.
That was high energy for quite a while.
Yeah, that was insane. So for those that weren't watching previously, we just did our first ever Sea of Thieves community sale, where we had this was propagated by a member of the forum. Nerd Propellant, aka Travis Hill, Tavish Hill. Sorry, I always put an R in there because I confuse him with Trav, who is not Travis Hill. Anyway,
Tavish Hill,
who is my brother, funnily enough.
There you go. So my brain is clearly firing on half a cylinder. But he wanted to put this forward, and if you didn't know, he runs an Etsy store that sells lots and lots of very cool Sea of Thieves goodies, as well as some Gears of War, Halo. Might be worth checking out. And he persuaded YouTuber Hitboxc to lend us his private custom server, which is in alpha at the moment with Rare. And yeah, the challenge was for every other crew to try and sink my ship. And they just did it in the last 3 minutes of the stream, which is why I was late. So I'm going to find out who that crew was, and the crew members of that ship will win an Xbox.
We've got to cancel that Freddie Prinze Jr. episode. I'm going to cancel it.
Oh, come on, man.
Anymore.
Sea of Thieves, it's what's not to love. Anyway.
It was a good time.
It was a good time. I had lots of fun, and I hope the community did too. So we're live again with another podcast episode. We've got Doncabesa on with us. And there's still, as always, lots and lots to talk about in the news. But before we dive into any of that, gentlemen, what have you been playing this week? Anything interesting? Nick, we'll start with you.
What have I been playing? I tried out Knockout City because the trial is up.
Ah, yes, yeah.
And when I saw the trailers for that when it was unveiled and stuff, I thought this could actually be a fun little game. It's actually not too bad, Knockout City. It's actually not too bad. I don't know if I see it taking off or not because it's so hard to do now with multiplayer service games and whatever. Really
difficult.
But my younger one was watching me play it, and he was having a laugh. I haven't looked deeply enough into it. I need to look into a way where I can map the buttons because I don't want to create another Elite controller profile. I really, really wanted to remap the buttons in it. I didn't like where everything was. But again, I didn't even check if I could do that. But it's actually a pretty fun game. I hope it does really well. For Valan, I think they're called Valan Studio. They're I think they made Mario Kart Live Circuit, the Mario Kart AR game.
I saw on their website, and that made me raise my eyebrows because that's a really cool piece of tech, right?
It is. It's amazing.
Expensive, but amazing.
Very expensive. $300 those cars cost me. So, it's actually quite a fun little game. The trial's up, so I encourage everyone to give it a go. And I believe that's launching into EA Play / Game Pass Ultimate.
Excellent. So, just to be clear then, everybody gets a go for the first 10 days. And then after that point, if you don't buy it, if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you get it. Or if you're an EA Play subscriber, you get it as part of that subscription. Is that right?
Yes, I believe
Without looking it up, I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up to be 100% sure. But yeah, it was something that was only announced semi-recently too. It's actually not a bad little game at all. Like, feels good, feels solid. Tight controls, which is always good for a game like that. I didn't mind it. They may have to tweak some of the lag compensation on catching. Because there were a lot of times when I felt like I swear I could have caught the ball when it was thrown at me, and then I didn't. I got hit, and I'm like, I just wonder if that's a little bit of lag compensation, but I don't know. I'm not a developer.
I really want to give it a go, so I'll give it a download.
It's good. Sure. It's fun. it'd be nice to have, like, it's 3-on-3, so it'd be nice to maybe get a bunch of us on to play that. I reckon it'd be good fun.
Sounds like another community stream night coming up.
Yeah, and aside from that, just all the FPS boosted games, Rocket League, the usual.
Yeah, fair enough. What about you, Jesse? Anything new, exciting? The man that has reviewed everything.
Yeah, I was just gonna say everything. I played the crap out of Halo Wars 2, Slay the Spire, Forza Horizon 4 the last week. But fell in love with Halo Wars 2 again because that game's great. When I'm alone, just for podcasts and whatnot, I've gotten back into Destiny 2. The season's okay. It takes a while for them to open up each week. They'll put more in it, and you can finish almost everything for the week in a night if you aren't into the PvP, which I am not.
Fair. I know.
Other than that, it's just been stuff for review for the main part.
Nice. I know Figments has been plugging away at Vault of Glass since 10 a.m. his time today.
Yeah, they were having a rough. They made it so I think like they have their level cap, and they make it so no matter how good your gear is, you're like way below the level cap, so you die in a few hits.
So it's challenging.
So yeah, it's been real hard.
I can see Sukia Brood in the chat. You don't have Figments on and still manage to get another Destiny 2 player on.
Yeah, no. So that's it. That's all we're talking about, Destiny.
I'm a casual every once in a while.
Yeah,
I'd rather talk Halo Wars 2.
I could never get into.
Oh, and I made the I ended up reviewing Halo Wars 2 because of that. Who Are the Banished thing? I was like, oh yeah, I remember I really like Halo Wars 2. I should go back and play this again. And yeah, it's really good.
Guilty admission.
I never beat that game.
I've only played the first 3 levels, and I really do. It's on my to play list before Infinite drops because, and I really appreciated the Who Are the Banished video because I've played enough of the game to see the intro and come across them and be like, oh no, they just murked all those Spartans. But yeah, I really do need to finish the game. It's just in co-op. I'll just have fun with it. I'm not going to play on like Legendary or anything. But yeah, in terms of what I've been playing, I played a little bit of Deep Rock Galactic. We were searching for a new bro-op game to play, and I showed the guys your review, and we were like, yeah, rock and stone, and we thought we'd give it a go, which we did. And we're having fun with that. But predominantly, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I am plugging away at it. Mostly for the review. I've captured a ton of footage off of ME1, but unfortunately, if people are waiting for this review from us, which I don't imagine you are, if you played the games previously, you know you're going to love them again. I refuse to skip ME1. Like, I'm seeing it all the way through before I start taking pen to paper, so to speak. But I am in love with the Mass Effect universe all over again. It is such a phenomenal trilogy, and I'm really happy it exists. And I think they've done a really good job with the remaster or the reimagining of ME1. I think it keeps the charm of the original, but fixes a lot of the annoyances for the most part.
Yeah. As someone who I had replayed the 360 version not that long ago, and just the aiming and the balance changes for the classes alone are worth the price.
Yeah.
I need to jump back in.
Yeah.
I'm still playing through the 360 version.
Oh, really? Still there? Still in the backlog?
Yeah. I started it like so many years ago because everyone was going on about Mass Effect.
Right.
And I bought it like on disc. It's like some store here was selling it for like $5 on disc like forever ago. So I'm like, I'll just buy Mass Effect. And then it was like, I think I bought it digitally for like $5. And I'm like, I'll just start it. And then I started it. And I'm like, oh my god, this game is so full on. it's so big.
Yeah, you can't play anything else. You just got to stay with Mass Effect.
And then I kind of dropped off, and then it came out backwards compatible. So I'm like, I'll go back again now on Series X.
It's annoying because not that long ago, all the DLC was on sale for the 360, and so I went and I bought all of it for like $25. Because there's like 2 companions in the second game I've never seen. Because I didn't have the DLC for it.
Oh man, they're all
so
good.
I do all that, and then of course, a few weeks later they announced the friggin' Legendary Edition. So I was like, I'll just wait.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's such a great game, and a good point again. Sukia in the chat Who can I send a compliment to for the fantastic animated background? Nick, do you want to tell this little story? Although I did record it. I recorded the HD version.
Okay, so me being me, I'm going to have to claim some credit for stuff because that's what I do. So it was my idea, super rude, but it was Pre-Drag who put it together, obviously. Because I don't know how to create animated backgrounds. I might have to try and learn that. But yeah. So this one almost looks like he created it himself, as opposed to it was captured from the Xbox, wasn't it?
Yeah, I captured it. He's zoomed it in and cropped it, and to recreate it, I think if you notice, there's a new effect in the middle that hides the transition that he's done. But yeah, it's superbly done, and I think this is going to be the standard. This is going to be. Yes. We're never going to change. Even for normal podcast episodes, this is what it's going to be now. So.
What?
Yeah.
No, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah, come on, it's too good. Do you want to keep it just for live?
Yes, just for live.
Oh, right.
Because then it screws with our thumbnails.
I suppose it does, yeah. We always have a little on theme.
Uniformity.
Yeah, I know you love your uniformity. But I'm hearing more and more from the marketing teams out there that we need to put our faces on with white outlines going. You know?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Who are the Banished?
Arrow pointing at something, and yeah.
I don't know. No.
Oh dear. But yeah, so well, that's a nice roundup of what we've been playing. Should we tackle the biggest thing that's caused all sorts of uproar for a video game that no one has seen yet? Yeah.
Well, look, I was just watching while I was waiting for you to finish your stupid game. I was watching Jeremy and Randall.
Oh, yes.
And, I felt for Rand in that moment because he was apologizing. I happened to be on while he was apologizing.
Oof.
Because of... so there's hashtag Team 2021, which I have always been Team 2021. I know Rand is Team 2021.
Yep.
Jeff Grubb started as Team 2021.
He raised the banner flag
on our podcast.
Yeah.
That he believes it'll be 2021. But then he started to waver. Others started to waver. And now it's sounding like it's all but confirmed to be not only 2022, but apparently late 2022. The funny thing is, I've seen a lot of comments on Twitter on that dumb forum. Oh, what the hell would they know? Something to keep in mind. In all of this Starfield situation, no one at any point has confirmed the game was going to be 2021. People have just given their speculation, their guesses, their whatever. We had that episode where I talked about the ad time that they purchased, but even in that episode we said Microsoft had all these marketing deals in place for Halo, and Halo still got delayed by a year.
Yeah.
Having purchased ad time doesn't guarantee a single thing. It just shows that obviously that was their intent.
It was their target.
Which, that I'm definitely sticking to. They did want it this year. Whether it was going to make it or not was another ball game. And we've said that many, many times. But, having said all that, do either of you find it odd? Because, Mr. Schreier said, oh, no, they're still showing it at E3. And I believe he said they're going to give a specific date.
Yeah, late 2022, but they'll give a date.
That makes no sense.
Yes, and that's the thing. I'm like, something's not adding up here. That's not Bethesda's MO. Like, if this is late 2022, why not now just show it next E3 and stick to your MO of revealing it and then releasing it the same year?
Yeah, and did anyone else find it odd? Like Jason Schreier, he is a renowned reporter, regardless of what a lot of Xbox fans think of him. All right, putting all that to one side, I firmly believe he knows his stuff, and he's been blacklisted from Bethesda before for basically showing them up and spilling the beans on several bits and pieces that they're working on. But I just find the oddest thing I find about it is that everybody, Grubb, Rand, everybody, every single person out there that has a source was hearing the end of this year.
Yeah.
And then one person, one different journalist goes, no, definitely this, 100%. And look, he's got a track record to back up his words, right? So, I'm going to listen. But isn't it odd that the narrative just flipped on a dime? Yeah, it's just changed.
Well, his side of it was they're all hearing from Microsoft. I'm hearing directly from the developers,
people that are working on the game.
That's So the thought that Microsoft were really wanting and targeting this year, and there's at least one developer that's saying, nope, there's no chance for that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just odd. I don't know. There's something funny. Like, again, not that there's rules in place. Like, there's no concrete set of rules that says Bethesda has to do it the way they've done it for their last 2 games. But it's just odd to me that they would show it this year.
And it's also the way Todd said he wanted to do it. Like, he said directly, I want to show it and then release it.
That's right. There's just, I don't know. Like, I almost feel like putting on my tinfoil hat and saying, is someone at Bethesda getting back at Jason?
Yeah, telling him a lot of...
screwing him over and telling him it's next year, only for it to be 2021.
The ultimate revenge after a decade of being blacklisted.
Yeah.
Who knows? But a quick shout out to Jeff Arthur in the chat with a little cool emote that I didn't know we had. So cool.
Yeah. They're part of YouTube.
Yeah,
that is my brother-in-law. Hey, Jeff.
Oh, hey Jeff. Thank you for the $3.99.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Lewer in the chat. John, I can hear your kittens again. Yep. As soon as I lock the door, they're like, "Wow, we want to come and hang with you," and I'm like, "No." So yeah, sorry. They'll be quiet eventually. I'll be hot on the mute button. But yeah, so Starfield 2022. I mean, it's not exactly the 1-2-3 punch. If that is the case, if it doesn't come out till 2022, late 2022, it's not exactly the 1-2-3 punch that we all thought was probably on the cards with Forza Horizon, Starfield, and Halo Infinite, right?
Halo.
The second alluding part to this question is: does it really matter? Does it matter at all? What do you think?
In the grand scheme of life, no.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
No.
Lots of things don't matter in the grand scheme of life. This is video games, people.
As long as their third-party Game Pass, whatever that ends up being at the end of the year, has something big, then I don't think so.
Thing. Because all that hasn't started yet, that's why this is taking so much attention. Once all the third-party Game Pass Day 1 launches get announced and happen, I think people will forget that Starfield is 2022. Having said that, everyone that knows me knows I'm nothing if not consistent. I have planted my flag in 2021, and I am keeping it there until I hear otherwise.
Fair enough.
I'm at the point with Halo and Battlefield and other things where if it was early 2022, I'd prefer it because there's already so much coming out.
And
that's what I mean. There's only so much you can play.
That's the other thing, right? If I think about... because there's also rumours, we all thought that Starfield would be next-gen only, but the other rumour is that it's cross-gen, right?
Well,
I don't know if that's from Jason, but...
No, it's not. That's Jez and I. So, Jez jumped into my Twitter. I can't even remember what I posted about. I posted something about Starfield, I don't know. And then Jez was like, "Are you sure it's next gen only?" And I'm like, "Yep, I'm pretty sure." Cool. And then Jez was like, "I don't know about that." And I said, "Well, you know what? I reckon you're wrong." And so Jez and I made an unofficial bet, which I misworded. And the result of my wording of the bet is that Jez wins regardless of who wins.
Whoops.
It was like, you know that trick someone uses? Heads you win, tails I win, tails you lose?
Yeah.
It was basically that.
Oh.
So regardless of when Starfield wins, Jez wins. When Starfield releases, Jez wins. But yeah, Jez believes it's cross-gen. I am of the firm belief that it is next-gen. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah,
that's the other thing to this, right? Is if you think like you said, Jesse, right? We've got Battlefield 6. We're definitely going to have Halo Infinite. There are already 2 massive multiplayer games. The rumors are
Far Cry 6
on the cards. The rumors are on the card. Yeah, we've got back. There's too much, right? For it.
Far Cry 6. Has that been confirmed one way or the other?
I think that's next year.
It's been told this year. Yeah, Far Cry 6, they moved back from February and eventually put it for May, but then moved that back again. So all it is 2021.
Okay, well there you go. So Far Cry 6 as well potentially,
It's too much.
and maybe Dying Light 2.
It's too much. I don't know.
Like there's a lot.
Yeah. It's too much to even think about playing. So maybe, you know, in the grand scheme of things, Microsoft looked at it and was like, it's a single player game. There's loads of other big banner titles. We don't need to release it this Christmas. And plus, if it is...
That would be similar to the Halo situation.
Yeah. If it is a new gen game...
Give it time.
If it is a new gen only game, there's not enough consoles in people's hands, even at the end of the year.
Yeah.
For that to be useful, right?
Yeah.
You're looking sleepy, Nick. You're looking a little bit...
Yep.
Rough night?
Tired.
Rough night?
No.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
This headset gives me a headache, and you might have seen me popping some pills earlier because there was lots of shouting, and I definitely got a headache. It's a low energy podcast this evening, perhaps, but we'll see if we can make it.
I don't think it's too bad.
It's not too bad. All right, so that's Starfield. Bear in mind, no one's seen it. We've seen lots of little leaked snippets. We've seen one teaser trailer, announcement trailer. We are going to see the game at E3. That much is for certain, and we'll find out.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out. It'll be great fun in the stream to see who wins the bet or not. Either way, you lose, apparently, but we'll see.
I lose either way. That's the way I worded it, like a moron.
The other game that's been in the news a lot this week, because of its resolution, and that's not the reason it should be in the news, because it looks like quite a unique little game, is BioMutant.
Yes, BioMutant is now the most important game in the gaming industry. A game that, up until this new resolution gate, threads on Resetera had never reached more than like 2 pages.
Yeah.
Because, frankly, no one cared about the game. But now, all of a sudden, it's the most important game in history. Because, you know...
Lazy devs.
Sony's backwards compatibility limitations aren't to blame. It's the lazy 20-man dev team that's to blame for the game being 1080p upscaled. Though I don't know what Housemarque were doing.
Yeah,
they had
it's so funny.
Party help.
I saw someone
temporarily upscaled it to 1440p first, so that makes all the difference in the world.
So it's double upscaled. Wow.
God. I saw a thread where a user on Reset posted something like, this game is incredible, I love it, blah, 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 for Returnal, which is 1080p upscaled, right? And then for BioMutant, put 1080p in 2021, yuck.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like...
Yeah, he got called out.
Yeah, rightly so. Hilarious.
And then, of course, they tried to weasel out of it with the whole, no, but it's not really 1080p, it's temporal upscale to 1440 and then reconstructed to 4K or whatever. It's 1080p, guys.
And
the native rendering resolution is 1080p.
Yeah.
And it bothered none of you with Returnal. Absolutely none of you. Mind you,
excuses rolled out.
Housemarque, as amazing as they are, were only developing on one platform and had help from Sony's first party.
Yeah.
The BioMutant devs are a 20-man team, 20-person team, developing across multiple platforms. Just give them a break, man. And don't blame them because of Sony's backwards compatibility issues on PS5.
Yeah.
Remember, with games that aren't, like, PlayStation 4 games need to have PS5 native versions to be able to achieve certain markers. That's why Rocket League is only 60 frames on PS5 and 120 on Series X. But I didn't see a thread made about that and people whining and complaining about it. It's part of how Sony's backwards compatibility is done on PS5. Don't blame the devs.
Yeah, and anyway. For the record, BioMutant, I think, looks great for the size of the team and the scale of the game. I definitely want to pick it up. A quick note, Jesse and I have been feverishly chasing the development team and the publisher so that he can get his hands on some review code. Despite filling in the forms and crossing the T's and dotting the I's, we get the response we occasionally get as a smaller publication, which is, we'll be in touch closer to launch, which basically means launch day we might get a code if we're lucky. So we're going to see if we can scrape together and get a code for Jesse to play it. So keep an eye out for our review. Knowing him, he'll no life the game in a short period of time and get something.
Yeah,
out
we'll
for
have to wait
everybody.
and see how big a game it is, and
Yeah.
maybe a few days.
Yeah. So
John BX32 with a super chat. Thank you very much. Just wanted to give a big shout out to Team 2021. We fought hard and never gave up. I'm proud of the squad. We'll get them next year. Hashtag Team 2021 forever. John, it's not over yet, mate. Just like Rocket League, it's not over till the siren goes, mate.
yeah,
You're still in the
keep
game.
the
Thing to
date up
remember.
off the floor of the pitch, and you'll be fine.
Not over.
Nothing's actually confirmed.
That's
It's
right.
all rumors.
The game
Rumors
hasn't
and
even been
conjecture.
revealed yet.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
We
mate.
don't even know when E3 is yet.
That's right. Like, don't worry, mate. There's still until that siren goes right at the end of the game. Still in it. Still in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to playing BioMutant anyway. And speaking of which, I have to say a thank you, and I've actually got to check my Discord to make sure I get their names correctly. A very quick thank you to Precursor and Nintendo the Goat, who both very kindly DM'd me privately and sent me Microsoft gift cards for my birthday, which was super kind of them. So yeah, you guys jointly have bought me BioMutant, so I really appreciate it. I will probably pick the game up and see how I fare. If I can get some time and Mass Effect doesn't eat my life. Maybe I'll wait for Game Pass. I don't know. These are the struggles now, because everything is going to come to Game Pass, it feels like. It's just too big to ignore. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, so we'll see what happens, but lots of people are being very, very silly online about BioMutant. I did see the team put out a post on Twitter saying how great all the metrics are showing, and thank you to the community for all of the mentions online. And it's like, yeah, but also there's a lot of idiots arguing about your game rather than talking it up. But I think there's a bit of that in there as well. That lots of people are actually very positive on the game. I'm not sure when the reviews drop.
It
I
looks
think the
really
day
good.
before. Day before for reviews, I've heard.
Open Critic listed the 24th, which I think is release day.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought the
we'll
release
have
day
to
was
see.
25th, so maybe I'm wrong. Because 24th is a Monday.
maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe we're both wrong.
Mm.
Anyway, okay, cool. Now, the other bit of news, it's just constant. This is why we were able to have weekly podcasts, and I'm glad for it. I'm here.
I was
for
actually worried there wasn't going to be much.
You were
but
right.
It turned out there was a little bit.
it. Yeah.
It's the 25th.
Oh, good. There you go. Confirmed. Xbox's E3 show. So, a couple of bits here. First of all, there was an interview that Matt Booty did with a French outlet, which one of our guys, I think,
Yes.
I want to say, and I'm going to try and pronounce his name properly because I've always said Sukia Brood, but I work with some Dutch people, and I think I'm going to say this right, and he can tell me if I get it wrong or right. I believe it's Suikerbrood, like that. So you tell me how good I got there, but he translated a few bits and pieces, and Matt Booty confirmed that the Xbox E3 show is a joint show with Bethesda and Xbox. So we've heard that.
Which is what we expected from
We
the
heard
start.
it from Jeff, right? And we thought that they would perhaps attach them on and there might be some gap in the middle. But now it's confirmed to be a joint presentation, which is great. But now we're also hearing that there's lots of things that we thought were going to be a given in this show.
We talked about this last episode.
We did, yeah. Yeah, so some things have been taken away.
So I think, didn't Jeff Grubb all but confirm Hellblade 2?
Not being there?
That's the game that I was talking about last week.
Yeah.
So that's the game that was pulled. Which I was a bit disappointed in because it's been so long since we've seen... Like, we saw that initial trailer, the CG one. I know in-engine is still CG. And Hellblade 2 was on my list of E3 stuff, and I got very excited because I thought, geez, a year and a half later, surely we might see like gameplay or something. And then was told that Hellblade 2 was pulled. So I'm saying something now only because Jeff basically already said Hellblade 2 is not going to be there. So I don't think I'm saying anything out of turn here, I think.
I don't think
but
so.
yeah.
Which is a
Hellblade
shame,
2.
but
Yeah.
if it's not ready, it's
You
not
look
ready.
at something when those games are so reliant on motion capture, and during the pandemic, you can't really do that. Those are the types that really get delayed.
you say that, but I don't know if anyone's seen the kind of personal blog video diary of the actress, the motion capture actress, and I think facial actress and everything that plays Senua. You can see like them scanning all the costumes in, and she's been doing combat training instead of having a stunt person who did it last time. So she's been doing all the sword fighting and everything herself. And you can see the shots. They're in the studio, but wearing all the face coverings and trying to do their best to maintain some form of social distancing. So I don't know how. It's obviously going to have had an impact, but
Hi, Rand.
Yeah, they've been back to it recently, but for a while they just weren't able to do it, and they were building it too because they got that ridiculously nice looking motion capture studio now for Ninja Theory.
Yeah, and Randall Thor there giving hope to everyone in the chat.
The lineup isn't set in stone. No, that's right. I said that last week. Like, my list has already changed, so no, it's not set in stone at all. Look, come on, it should still be a good show. It's just, I've always said, always temper your expectations with Microsoft because they're still learning
it's the default.
How to generate hype. And the show that they should be having should still be a pretty good show. I still think it'll be better than last year's, personally. But yeah, also Torsif Zaman, Hellblade 2 possible appearance at the Video Game Awards. Maybe. I don't know. It'd be a nice sort of full circle moment where it was revealed there and maybe it gets shown there again. I don't know.
Yeah, they've been pretty consistent on having stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Jeff Keighley announces it through gritted teeth. And now Phil Spencer's on the stage with Kojima. No.
Normally things leak, but sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Like, you got a console reveal. You can be a little happy.
Yeah,
I remember the shot on him afterwards, and he goes, "The Series X. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, look. That's the new Xbox. Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Oh, dear God.
Jesus.
Comedy gold. Comedy gold.
Who hurt him?
I don't know.
Hold on. What's Rand saying? Okay, so after Rand said, the show's not set in stone, he's saying, so there is a possibility Hellblade 2 appears.
It would be good
What
to
are you
see.
trying to do, Randall? Randall, what are you trying to do?
He's trying to sow the seeds of hope, which I appreciate in these dark and dreary times. The pre-E3 circus is always ridiculous. Everyone's angsty and terrible on forums, on Twitter.
Our forums have been perfect. What are you talking about?
No, they're not. They really need to chill. It's just video games, folks. It's all going to be okay. There'll be plenty to play this year, next year, and all the years.
It should still be a good show. It should still be a good show. I don't think it'll be. I still think it'll be one of their better shows of the last, 5 years or so. Like, it'll still be, I believe, good. Just don't. It's a bunch of ads. Don't get too emotional over a bunch of ads. It's a bunch of ads. Don't get too invested in it.
People get so angry at how they market their product that I'm just a customer. I want them to show me cool stuff. I don't care if they do well. I want them to show me things I like. That's it.
That's right.
Yeah, but no, there's a war out there, and there's some valiant people fighting it.
It's just ads. That's all it is. It's okay.
In other news this week, I think the Crysis Twitter account, and look, I'm reading this from the sheet here. I haven't seen this, so I'll let you tell this story, Nick, if you like. But apparently the Crysis Twitter account is teasing Crysis 2
Crysis 2, now? Yeah. I saw the thread on, and they were like, oh, they're teasing Crysis 2 Remastered, and the Crysis Twitter account's been posting stuff that'll lose the Crysis 2. We already talked about this, man. Like, remember that Twitter account, PokeProtos or whatever it was, that leaked a whole bunch of Crytek stuff? Remake. And there was Rise and Crysis 2 Remastered. Guess what? Crysis 3 Remastered as well. Crysis Battle Royale, which we've seen mentioned. We already talked about this. And I even, rather than trying to claim all of it, I even credited that Twitter account that mentioned it in October. This is
old news for you, yeah?
Yeah, man. There's a whole bunch of stuff Crytek are doing.
Why is it on my list?
I hope the Rise part of it is real. I said that back then. I hope it's real. But to me, the Crysis 2 and 3 remastered is a given. They already remastered the first one.
Yeah, the moment you see one, you assume the rest are going to get it.
That's right. Why would they not remaster? And Crysis 2, for the record, is so good. I love the second game.
I have to comment on this in the chat. Nick's in the chat. Tom Cruise has said he's looking forward to the Hellblade 2 trailer at E3.
Yeah.
Did he? Is it before or after the Starfield reveal that he's in the game now or something? Did you see that rumor? Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is it that he's in Starfield or something like that?
That he's in the game and that he's going to be starring in a movie based on the game, and that's why he's going to film a movie in space. And I don't know.
See that super chat?
Now, when I see a username of Xbot Eliminator, I have to ask some questions, right? Because one, are you hate watching an Xbox focused podcast? Because if you are, you're like, hey, I'm not one to tell you how to spend your time or your money.
You're wrong about Starfield, Nick. Sony won. Go.
Sony won. Oh, I love people.
I love it.
The thing is, I hope no one in the moderator team bans him. Like, keep him here. So, yeah, it's fine.
We'll take all the viewers we can get.
Yeah. That's a whisper bar for me right now. So we've got Crysis remastered coming out of our guilds. That's all fun and games. And I think we've heard as well, because of the low stock of the next gen consoles, which aren't really next gen anymore. They're this gen. The current consoles, I should say. We're going to see lots of remasters from lots of publishers because it's cheap, quick, easy, and idiots like us buy them. So expect more because you're going to buy them, because why wouldn't you? We've set the precedent, people. I don't think you'll see many from Microsoft specifically, but I think other publishers are going to go all in. So brace for that. Enjoy spending more money on stuff you technically already own. Speaking of upgrades to old video games, I say old, it's not really that old, but Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is getting a Series X and S and PS5.
That is fresh, hot off the press.
Hot off the press. I just saw, if anyone was watching the podcast and heard my computer go da-da-dung, someone's just posted it from XboxEra.com and posted a news story on Jedi Fallen Order. So.
Yeah, like straight away. We just found out right before we went live that apparently the Fallen Order next gen release is June 26. God, so much in June. That's just after my birthday. But it's a free update, I believe, for anyone who owns Fallen Order digitally and on disc. I'm assuming on disc.
Yeah, because it will just download patch,
at least,
right?
Yeah.
But didn't they do a little?
When it's
yes, we've spoken.
They did a small patch, a PC patch that made it run better. But now this will be better settings and everything along with running.
Because that's what I was wondering. It already runs at 60 on Series X, and I jumped back in again to feel it at 60 and how smooth it was and everything was great. My guess is this is going to be a more substantial update. Maybe there'll be a ray tracing option. Maybe there'll be better textures, and I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, what they had before, because the One X had the 1080 unlocked that barely ever hit 60. That was always 60 in Series X, but then they bumped it up so you could keep the resolution and have it unlocked. But it was still running at the okayed and low settings.
Yeah.
So from there, they just go and touch it up, get it to more like computer high, that type of stuff they're talking about. Right. And those are normally a re-download. They're not just a patch because it's the GDK. So you have to re-download the whole thing.
So that's good. I mean, I got the game for free. So my little cousin got a copy of it when he bought a One X Series 1S. He bought an Xbox
One X for a while.
Yeah, there was a bundle for a while, and he got the code. He's like, "You want it?" I'm like, "Oh, you don't have to do that." It's like, "No, just take it." So I got a free copy of the game, and so I'll take another free update for it. It's
I kind of fell off it after a few planets in. So it's a good excuse to go back in and play it again.
It is. But it should. Now it will be nice and smooth, and The whole lot.
It depends. I've
It
got
was
Mass Effect 2 and 3 to
fantastic.
finish.
Okay.
No.
Look,
It
you know,
ran
Sir
like
Monte
crap.
Carlo, is that you? Is that you? Why is your name the only one in the chat? I'm pretty sure that's the Sir Monte Carlo. Faked it in 120. So funny. I know no one's going to understand that.
Nodorius in the chat talking about classics. Is there any way to play Outrun on the Xbox Series X?
No.
Wait,
Retro Arch.
wasn't there a
Yeah.
360 arcade, Xbox Live Arcade
Yeah.
port, but they've not made it backwards compatible?
Yeah. No.
Disgusting.
Licensing. It's all Ferrari licensing, I think.
That's not
Would
very
be my
nice.
guess.
Well,
Yeah. Outrun's a good game.
yeah,
Outrun.
classic.
Coast to Coast was the 360 one, I think.
Yeah.
Can someone correct me in the chat? Was it Coast to Coast that was the 360 game?
Everyone's idol
No,
Goro.
Coast to Coast were both original Xbox games that were backwards compatible on the 360.
I love it. Everyone's idol Goro and Dio game. Just play Yakuza 8 or Yakuza 0. It outruns in the
in there.
arcades.
Hey,
That's one
that's
solution.
why that was the whole reason I bought Homefront Revolution to play Time Splitters.
Yeah.
And now Time Splitters is coming back. That's not even in our notes. Time Splitters is coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, the original
Embrace
Free
that.
Radical team have reformed.
Yes.
It's
Mad.
exciting.
That's going to be so good because they got the original, or at least most of the core team.
Yeah, a few. I don't know if it's everyone, but
Okay.
Lovely. Lots of Outrun fans.
Hopefully that'll be really, really good. I like Time Splitters.
Yeah, Time Splitters was a classic. Time Splitters 2 was my personal favourite. The custom game options were bananas. It was lovely. Great game. Another great game that got its big moment in the sun this week was the Ascent, which is coming on July 29th. And I have to admit, it's right up there as one of my most anticipated games of this year. It looks phenomenal. Like, it looks really, really good.
Right.
Everything about it. And it's co-op, which is my favourite type of game.
4-player co-op, isn't it?
Perfect. Yep.
Yep.
RPG co-op,
Yeah.
so you can all have like different roles in your team.
So, do you reckon we'll be getting codes for it?
We are on the list to get codes for it. I don't know how many codes we would get.
you would hope for.
Yeah, it'd be nice,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? We could get the whole
Because
team
I was going to
playing.
say, if we are lucky enough and fortunate enough to get 4 codes, why don't we do like a joint review?
Yeah, be really good. From each classification.
Yeah. So all
play
4 of
style.
us have like a paragraph or whatever, and all 4 of us then do a bit of narration for the video as well, like a 4-way review. I think that would be very cool.
That was how I was also thinking about like Halo Infinite, where you have a reviewer, but then you've got sections for the various people if we get the codes, and they can narrate their own part, and then you wrap it all up at the end, and
It would be
that'd
fun.
be fun.
There's lots.
I'm
there's
looking
lots to look
forward to the
forward to.
Ascent.
I'm
Ascent
really
looks-
hyped for this year. I think that the team that we've got and the work that we're doing, like we're seeing more and more engagement from publishers and people willing to work with us. We're not always going to hit the mark every time because some of them will just go, you're still too small. And it's usually the EAs and the Ubisofts and a couple of others. But, a lot more indie developers are now reaching out to us and just sending us stuff straight off the bat.
Landtramp's been drinking again.
Yes, she definitely has. She was on the ship and she looked a bit
Oh.
unsteady on her feet as we sank it beneath the waves
As you
many
murdered her.
times. It was good. It was good fun.
The 4-way. XboxEra late night, the 4-way. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Now, we are 40 mate, man. Yeah, we're all tired today. 48 minutes into the podcast. I get to do one of my favourite things now. One of my favourite things on this show, which is to press everybody.
Oh, the button's over? It's over?
Yeah. It's over.
Because I can't see it, so I don't know.
I know, you just have to enjoy me dancing away on cam while no one else can see me.
Okay. Now, this was a bit interesting week for me rumor wise. I hadn't really had anything new for a long time, and then I kind of got bombarded with stuff, and then I'm like, I can't like talk about all this stuff in one episode. I need to spread it out. And the funny thing is, there's actually a couple of things I got told about that isn't even on my list of stuff because I can't say anything about it yet. Although there is a thread on our forum and Reset about it, about that Final Fantasy PS5 exclusive. Shock. I may know something about that. I'm just waiting to hear if I can say what I know about that.
Cool.
But for today, which ones am I going to go with? All right, so I'll start with the one that I kind of already mentioned. I don't know why I didn't wait for the show for this. I put it out on Twitter. So I got told earlier in the week that there is a good chance. You know, come on, Jez said this on Xbox 2. Disclaimers, yeah? Grain of salt, things change, Darkwing Duck.
Things change, Darkwing
Duck. You know, all that sort of stuff. Nothing is set in stone. I was just told that there is a good chance, maybe in the 70 to 80% range.
That's pretty admirable.
That the multiplayer. So apparently there's no multiplayer for Mass Effect 3 in the Legendary Edition. Is that right? I did not know this. I haven't played Mass Effect 3. I haven't played Mass Effect 2. I've only played Mass Effect 1. Apparently at EA Play Live, we might be hearing about or having revealed or announced whatever the multiplayer for Mass Effect 3, which I believe will then go obviously into the Legendary Edition.
Okay.
Apparently.
It wasn't my jam, but lots of people did like it. Lots of people liked it.
I played the beta darn fun.
Yeah, like I was shocked at how good. Like so, Mass Effect 3. So, Jesse, I'm assuming you've played the multiplayer and the single player of that. Does the single player feel the same way as the multiplayer in terms of combat and everything? Oh well, then Mass Effect 3 feels amazing.
Yeah, it's a great shooter.
I played the multiplayer beta of Mass Effect 3, and I was shocked at how good that felt. Like, it was, wow. Felt really, really good. So, apparently, there's a fair chance that we may be seeing Mass Effect 3's multiplayer at EA Play Live. So, yeah, that's the first one. Okay. The second thing, the one that I'm deciding on today, I'm going to save the other two for next week. For Nintendo fans out there, I've been told that there's going to be... Now, okay, remember a while back I said that sometimes I drop stuff in the Nintendo Era Discord and those jerk-offs are like generally very up with it. And they're like, we already knew that, man. That's like old news. You don't know your head from your ass. So when I got told about this, I said, look, can I say this in Nintendo Era? I'm like, they're pretty good. Like, they won't leak anything or whatever, but they always know everything I say. So can I jump in there and see if they know? And my guy was like, yeah, okay, go. So see what they say. So I went into Nintendo Era and I said, hey, have you guys heard about this new thing that's happening? They're like, what? I'm like, there's supposed to be a new Captain Toad game coming. And they're like, no, we haven't heard anything like that. I was like, yes, I finally got them.
We got them.
I finally got them. I posted something in there that they didn't know about. So yeah, apparently there should be a new Captain Toad game in the works. I'm not sure if it started. I'm not sure if it's anything. I just got told, hey, new Captain Toad game. Now, for anyone who's played Captain Toad, it is a fun little puzzle game. And
hopefully this one's twice as long.
It goes way longer than it should. Which, if you're a person that only owns like one or two Switch games, great. That there's a game that lasts so long. Like if you want, like I'm trying to 100% Captain Toad on Switch, and I've managed to 100% chapters 1, 2, and 3, and I thought I was done and I was ready to jump around and celebrate, and then the Super Mario Odyssey levels unlocked. And I was like, oh, no, I just can't be bothered. I don't want to go anymore. It's such a long game. But apparently there will be a new Captain Toad game.
Cool.
I do have more in the Rumormill, but I'm saving those. I don't want to...
Sure? Because sometimes you save them and then they come from other places and you're like...
I know, but look, these two things that I'm looking at right now in my little sticky note on Windows 10, they are things I have known about for a long time, and they are yet to leak. I'm sure they're not going to leak in 1 week.
Okay.
If they haven't leaked in the last 2 months or so, or whatever. Like, surely they're not going to leak between now and next week. The Final Fantasy thing already did. Like, I got told about the Final Fantasy thing a little while back and kind of forgot about it because I don't care about Final Fantasy. And then someone else came to me and said, might have something about Square soon, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, like a day, I'm like, can I say something? They're like, no, I can't say anything yet. And then, like, I see the thread on Reset about an exclusive Final Fantasy game. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything. But, yeah. That's it for this week. There'll be 2 more. Well,
someone's going to hack your PC. Wish him luck. Let's get access to the sticky notes.
Agun Zagun. I probably didn't pronounce that right. Agun Zagun. Agun Zagun.
I've been trying ever since you kept going over how much is on your OneNote, and I've had no luck.
Yeah.
Can't guess this man's password.
So, yeah, next week tune in next week for more Rumormill stuff. I've got 2 more. And I'll be honest, I don't even know if anyone's going to like these 2. I don't know. I don't know if these 2 are going to make everyone happy. There's one that's definitely not going to make anyone happy, except a certain group. And then there's another one that I don't know. So that's the Rumormill. Oh, Anthony, I love that super chat because I don't think it's going to happen.
Wish.
Anthony, $5. Do you think there is any chance of Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 ever coming back to the Xbox store? I'm so annoyed I didn't buy them before they left again. I own Ultimate Alliance 1 on 360, and it is not backwards compatible.
And they never put the Xbox One versions cheap enough. Like, I was going to buy them if they went down to $15-20. They never did. They were always $50 US. It was ridiculous.
It is not going to happen, Anthony. Like, unless Microsoft does Activision even have the license anymore? Like, I actually don't know.
No, I think that's why they got the listed. I think is because they didn't have the license anymore.
I'm devastated. I didn't buy the second game's nowhere near as good as the first game. But I'm devastated I didn't buy Ultimate Alliance 1 before they delisted it. If anyone has a code that just happens to be lying around or something,
you can send it to me. Don't give it to me. He's got enough.
Like Hideki Kamiya. I won't block you for giving me a free game.
Yeah.
I'll even buy the game. I will not block you for reaching out to me in English and not Greek.
How dare
you? And he won't call you an insect.
I won't block you for offering a free game. So if anyone wants to send me a code for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1, please. I love that game. I got all the achievements on 360. It was so good. Absolutely love it.
Well, there you go. Okay. Well, the only other bit of news that I realised wasn't in our list, I'm pretty sure someone in the chat did actually mention it and called us out for not covering it, was the announcement of Riftbreaker, which is a survival game
coming to Game Pass
/ base building action RPG launching this fall straight into Game Pass. I mean, that's
yeah. I'd forgotten about that one because that was shown a while ago and then has resurfaced, and it looks pretty damn good.
It looks pretty damn good.
It does. I thought it looked cool too.
In fact, now I'm thinking of it, there's a bunch of news we kind of missed out on. There's a load of new Psychonauts 2 details and gameplay out there.
Yeah, on Major Nelson's podcast, I had quite a bit.
That looks really good.
And way better than I remember too.
Yeah, it reaffirmed to me how much.
We still don't have a release date for that, do we?
No, soon.
No,
soon.
Soonish months.
But it reaffirmed to me how much I want to have Tim Schafer on the podcast as a guest because the man is legendary.
Let's plant our flags and be wrong and have people get upset about us. When are we planting our flags?
Well, Halo is September. If Flight Sim is July, the Ascent is July, I'll go August.
For Psychonauts too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you took my month. I was going to say August as well.
I'm going to say June.
So you reckon it's going to be next month?
They said they were in their last Fig update. They were doing voiceover and stuff still. So
I don't know. We'll see.
It is up for preload. Like I have the whole thing loaded on my Xbox here.
Yeah.
So that normally was it's gold, but it's not, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a preview version people can get into if they've got access.
It does look really good though, and I love.
Major Nelson said he is playing it.
Yeah, so I think June. I'm going to go June. And I don't think
indicates,
it's going to be a
that it is. It's obviously going to be much sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But again, like I do wonder if, like, again, I don't know if this sneaks into tinfoil hat territory. Do they want to get out of the way of Ratchet and Clank? I don't know.
But those games are so similar and should definitely be compared on every level.
Yeah, don't let Ryan review Psychonauts 2, please.
Oh God, yeah.
Don't let Ryan, because the whole review is just going to be, this isn't Ratchet and Clank. 5 out of 10.
They should have cancelled this and had them go work on Elder Scrolls.
This isn't Ratchet and Clank. 5 out of 10.
Oh God.
This isn't Super Mario Odyssey. 5 out of 10.
This is
Imagine if Microsoft can get themselves a 9 or a 10 instead of a 7 or an 8.
Oh God, I hate it. I hate it so much. It's just the console war rhetoric all over again. The other game I
think
saw,
August.
You think August? I think June. You both think August. We'll see who's
Shadow drop
right.
at E3. I'm planting my flag.
Oh.
Wait.
Oh, he's
Hold on,
changed.
didn't
I
you
have
just
2
say?
flags.
Didn't you just say August?
He's changed his flag. He's
Yeah,
planted it now.
How about my dream is Shadow drop at E3 because they never do anything that cool. But the realistic expectation and the one I'll actually go with is August.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going August. I'll say August.
Another piece of news, and it's the last one I'll mention that struck my memory, was the reveal of Lies of P, a Souls-like based on the story of Pinocchio, coming to Series X, PC, and xCloud in 2023. So a while away.
Isn't that like? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, a while away. But yeah, okay, cool. And the last thing I'll mention before we move on to our patrons and community questions. Was it last podcast or the podcast before I said I'm not buying Maneater, I'm waiting for it to come to Game Pass. And it's coming to Game Pass.
And it's coming to Game Pass
on Tuesday.
That is a fun game.
I will play
It's
that
worth
game.
the wait.
I will be a shark.
It is. I've got to go back to it on PS5.
Yeah. So happy days. Anyway, if you've never watched the XboxEra podcast, or even if you have, you know that it's not really possible. I mean, it is, but we wouldn't do as very good job, and we certainly wouldn't be as motivated as we are to do it at all without our wonderful patrons. So if you're not aware, you can support the work that we do and everything from the site, the forum, all the stuff that we try and run for the community is supported by the community. So you can head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You do get a bunch of perks depending upon what level you pick, and we like to give a big special thank you to our tier 2s and 3s, which are Dylan, Blast the Bass, Nodorius, Not Jack, the Scarecrow 121, Torn Raptor, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell him to remove the space, Crazy Spaz, VK Andrew, Brit, Keris, Nottian, Gabquist, Hexa, Jarepa, K, Cartoon Soldier, Red Sun, RRC 1594, Saint Irv, Shadowgasm, Sowing Shade, and Running Riot. I am going to call it.
My God, that's almost too long to read.
Yeah, if we get one more, I'm going to turn it into an animated scroll and just go, these guys.
Okay. Before we leave the patron thing, should we say what?
Yeah, go on. I think this is really cool because it's a really generous thing that someone's done. So let's.
Yeah, I know. I was going to put it on Twitter, but then I'm like, because Eric said to me, he's like, look, do what you want. If you want to say something, say something. If you don't. I just wanted to do something. So we are friends with an indie developer, Anorexic, who made that cool little game that I mentioned very early on. That's how he reached out to me, because he was happy that we mentioned his game, Omega Rally Championship, this cool little creators collection game that he made, which, it is an indie game. Like, there's no doubt in that, but it's got a really solid little driving model on it.
Yeah.
This one stick driving model that was supposed to help with accessibility and stuff like that, I think. And this cool little game, we talked about it. He happened to catch the podcast and saw that we mentioned it and has become a fan of us since then. I'm a big fan of him. We're good friends with him. He was ridiculously generous. I was like, dude, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do it. He's like, look, no, I want to do more. I'm a patron, but, I want to do more than what I'm doing. I feel bad. I'm like, you don't have to feel bad. He's like, no. I'm going to generate a whole bunch of codes for my game, for Omega Rally Championship, and all 2021 patrons get a code. I'm like, man.
Very cool.
You don't have to do that. So,
cool.
For example, we got a new patron this week, just a couple of days ago, who, as soon as he joined, I sent him a code because I've still got codes.
Yeah.
And he even said, if we happen to run out of the codes, the first lot of codes we've got, he'll generate more.
That's pretty wicked of this guy.
Yeah,
to do that.
Unbelievable. Like I said,
Hats off.
Mate, you don't have to do that. But he wanted to, and he did. So, for any of our patrons watching, if you don't check the Patreon website very often, I have sent all 65 of our current patrons codes. Still plenty more codes, so that's a little bonus. It's not part of the perks.
Yeah.
It's a bonus that all our patrons are getting, which is a copy of a little game called Omega Rally Championship. It's a cool little game.
Yeah.
So thank you very much to NRXic for that.
Big shout out to NRXic there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Really
cool.
good.
And that's what we love about this community that you are helping to build, is that it's actual people that play games of all types, skills, and they're all coming together and doing cool stuff together. So yeah, thank you for reaffirming that dream, that vision, that it is possible to have that kind of community.
He said he likes what we're doing and he wanted to support us further.
Nice. I like it.
We try to not clickbait.
Yeah,
no
clickbait.
Try.
until we're really poor, and then we'll do click. No, never.
Yeah.
Never.
I mean, yes, no.
Anyway, so now is the fun part. It's always fun, but this is the more relaxed.
That's the fun part, because the rest of the podcast was utter shite.
Yeah, sounds bad, doesn't it? I should probably rethink my wording there.
Now's the good part.
Now's the really good part. But this is the part you get to kick off your shoes, put your feet up, relax, hang out with us for a bit as we dive into our patrons' community questions. And it's also a good opportunity for those of you in the chat to get a bit noisy.
Yeah.
Throw some super chats out there, ask us some questions, and we'll answer them live.
Okay, so
what do we got?
We did have one question asked in the Patreon by one of our... So I'll just go to that one and get out of the way. Just for future reference, we would like all the Patreon questions asked on the forum now. We've created a special section of the forum for our
Kids
patrons.
Club.
Yep, and that's where we'd like all the questions, but that's okay. This person's a new patron and they weren't aware, so I'll ask the question. Okay, Torsif. Hello, everyone. Before Jason Schreier's tweet, there was this idea that Xbox could potentially have a trifecta in fall 2021 with Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, Starfield. We talked about that. Is it possible that maybe Xbox will go for a late summer trifecta in no order with Psychonauts 2, Flight Simulator, and a third game, maybe the Ascent or another unannounced game? We now have a release date for the Ascent. Yeah, we now have a release date for the Ascent, so that is late summer US time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's July 29th, which is midsummer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the Ascent. Psychonauts we don't officially know. So if we're right, or Jesse and I are right, and Psychonauts 2 is August, is that still summer?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, summer ends in end of
September.
September, I think.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know. The US summertime is weird. In Australia, it's just...
Pretty much, yeah, opposite of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Australia's just like 1st of June winter, 31st of August.
We're like tied to the solstices, I think.
Yeah, we're just
pagans.
like the 3 calendar months. June, July, August, that's winter. To me, that's
we don't do things smart around here.
Bloody imperial crap. Okay, so
they said Flight Sim is summer. That's what
there
they
you go.
dated
So
at the
you might be
Game
spot on
Awards.
to us if it looks like Psychonauts 2, Flight Simulator, and Ascent will be their summer trifecta.
Yeah.
But again, remember, yes, Forza Horizon 5, Halo, Starfield, but like, let's just say that Battlefield 6, Back 4 Blood, and Far Cry 6, let's just say those 3 games launched into Game Pass. Would you care that Starfield's not coming this year?
No.
Absolutely not.
Do you know what I mean? Like they've got a bunch of stuff planned for Game Pass. Like if you heard there was like 5 or 6 big third-party games all launching into Game Pass in the second half of the year, would it matter that Starfield's next year?
No, not even a little
Like,
bit.
yeah, so that's fine. That's fine. So I
Got
hope
a super chat I could take because I
that's
have
what-
played the demo.
Oh, please.
Jason A from Australia. Gentlemen, great show so far. Do you have any thoughts on BioMutant or Scarlet Nexus launching this week? Scarlet Nexus has an exclusive demo on Xbox. We talked about BioMutant. We're really looking forward to it. And Scarlet Nexus is interesting. It's very janky, but it's chaos and over the top and extremely anime. And if you're into those things, I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know that I would buy it at full price, and I would hope that the potential of it being on Game Pass is true, because then I'd play the hell out of it. It's pretty fun.
Becoming a Game Pass?
I haven't heard rumors. I just assume most things that they have marketing on.
I know there's been rumors of Tales of Arise.
Yeah.
Into Game Pass, but I hadn't.
I haven't heard anything about Scarlet Nexus itself, but anything they have marketing on, I'm just in the mindset of like, there's a chance.
Yeah. And it is a bit of a niche game, if we're being honest.
And they have an exclusive demo, which is not a normal thing for them with a Japanese game.
To me, it would seem almost silly not to launch it into Game Pass. Like, why not take that guaranteed cash up front and have 22 million people just
play your game,
download it, give it a go?
Yeah.
Who knows? Number might be even way higher after E3 if they have a decent show and they can get systems out
Probably
there.
already higher now.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It feels like the narrative around Game Pass just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah. It's great.
It's like our subscriber count.
Yeah. Slowly but surely.
If you haven't subbed to Game Pass, you probably should. Unless all you play is COD.
And
it's
again,
not worth it.
Same for XboxEra. If you haven't subbed to XboxEra, you probably should. Unless you sub to Xbox 2, in which case... Wait.
Yeah. I wonder if Randy's still around.
Nah, he's
Randy's there. He's
crashed.
still around.
He's probably crashed.
Maybe. Possibly. Okay, so now I'm going to do something a little bit different here. So there is a forum member who seems to have refused to accept that we don't take community questions on the forum anymore.
I'm aware of this.
There's a question that he's asked a few times, and then a couple of episodes ago, Cerys said, "Hey, ask Delroy's question."
It was a super chat.
Send it to Discord. Sorry?
It was a super chat that Cerys did to get that question asked, so it's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair
And
game.
and I actually think I said that I'd cover that question last week, and I completely forgot. But as you can see, I have not forgot about this. So, Delroy, I'm going to ask you a question now, finally. I hope you're watching. I hope the fact that I have forgotten about your question means you've stopped watching our podcast. I hope you're watching. Delroy. I'm going to ask you a question now. Okay. I was right. It is a food question.
Oh, good.
Okay. Delroy, question for the pod. Think of your favorite meal / food. Most people probably know mine. Jesse, I bet you can say what mine is.
Macca's.
Yeah, see? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're hungry.
Jesus.
You've ordered / prepared your favorite meal. You've set it on the table, etc. After grabbing some napkins, you turn around and see a number of flies have landed on your meal. I'm regretting asking this question now. How many nasty, crawling flies would be acceptable for you to go ahead and eat the meal anyway, instead of tossing it in the trash? Yes, you can brush them away. I love Japanese. I'm so going to mispronounce this, and I apologize. Omurice, Omurice, omelette rice, essentially. Look it up. Omurice. Just going to say Omurice. And don't have it often because I'm often lazy. I realize it would take a fair amount of flies, which is a scary thought. Maybe more than 5. Am I gross? Yep. You're pretty gross, though, right?
I don't know. I'm kind of with him here. Like, if I'd cooked and prepared let's just say I've got plenty of favourite meals, but let's say I cooked and prepared a really decent medium rare ribeye on the barbecue and some fresh potato salad with raw garlic and spring onion in it, and it was all hot and steaming, and some flies, like 5 flies, just was like zit, and were on my steak or on my potatoes or a combination of the two. I think as long as I got to them quick, if they were like in there doing their thing where they vomit on my food and they rub it in their little feelers to digest it, if I got there quick enough to not see them do that, I think I could still eat my meal. We do what we're asked to do in this podcast.
Are the flies Louis the Fly from the Mortine ads? Like, does he have a personality and a little fedora hat like Louis the Fly?
I want to say no. I think just average houseflies would be acceptable.
There's a situation, because like anyone who's had a barbecue or a grill outside, you kind of expect it. You can't keep them away. So you're going to see some flies here and there.
I do my best.
We all try, but you understand it's outside and they're tiny. So they're there if you're not looking. You're not just going to be there flapping your hands at them the whole time.
Yeah.
But if you're inside in your own house or in a restaurant and there is flies around, it's an indication that it's not the place you want to eat.
That's a good point. It's a good point. But I'd be like, my house is really dirty. Maybe it is.
Have any of you seen Eddie Murphy Delirious?
Yes.
You'll remember.
I saw it when it was okay to watch it.
The ice cream segment. Where I got some ice cream, and then he's making fun of the other kids that don't have ice cream, and then he drops the ice cream on the floor, and then he picks it up, kisses it, and he just wants to go and eat the ice cream anyway. And he goes, I could drop my ice cream in a pile of shit and eat it. I'd be like, it's just sprinkles. And he dusts off the ice cream. That's what I thought of straight away as soon as I saw Norris' question. Just Eddie Murphy going, it's just sprinkles.
I think if it was crawling in flies, like that it was visibly hard to see the food because of the amount of flies, that would be my limit. That would be the point where I'd be like, I can't eat that now. Like it's too much. But yeah,
you go over a couple, I'm out.
Yeah, 5 to 10, like, I'd live.
I don't know if I do. I don't know if I do the flies, but I've had a hair in my food and just taken the hair out and like removed that section of the food and just kept going. Yeah. But I'm Greek. We're dirty.
Yeah.
The only one. I don't know why his name is the only one. Can you change your name to your proper name, Sir Monte Carlo? Super chat $5. Jason's terrible at Rocket League. FYI.
So cruel.
So. Remember how I talked about the new Rocket League partner that I found, the one that's from Australia, as opposed to the Canadian one that I always play with? So that's him in the super chat, and we've got a third that plays with us every now and again. His name is Jason. So he's giving him in our chat. Jason's terrible at Rocket League. That's funny. Okay.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that question, Delroy. It's a great one.
Yeah. I mean, surely we made up for the fact that we forgot about your question for like a month.
I honestly think that might be the second time we've done it.
What?
I remember talks about flies and food before on this podcast.
Nah, it wasn't that question. It wasn't that question, I assure you. Okay. Now after all of that, to the Patreon lounge. It's funny. If you see the way this is on the forum, so I've made the post in the Patreon lounge, and then the first post was Cerys, and I'm like, okay, here comes the question. But it's not a question. It's Cerys rolling up her sleeves. So she's obviously preparing for the question.
It's coming.
So the first, so Dio Game actually did technically follow Cerys according to the forum structure, but luckily there was no question. So Dio Game. Depending on how this thread shapes up, I may or may not be following Cerys, which means I may or may not have a real tough act to follow. Technically, you don't. Anyhow, E3 is just around the corner, and Microsoft has somewhat of a reputation for running a leaky ship. Yes, they do. Fable, Avowed, Perfect Dark, the Series X, etc., all were known about in a not insignificant capacity before their reveals, and this time it looks like Omen and Horizon 5 fit the bill. These are basically all things that were on our show. We said Fable and Obsidian's new game would be it. the show last year, and we were also one of the first with Perfect Dark. And if you go back to our podcast with Thomas Sala, where we revealed a lot of Lockhart info there.
Yeah, which is hilarious because he definitely knew all of that and was just like...
He probably would have. He just sit there and keep his mouth shut.
The whole time I was sitting there, I went back to it later and he was just stone-faced because
He couldn't say anything. He almost had a funny look on his face saying, how do they know this stuff? Because we said in that episode that it's a normal form factor. We said that it's going to launch same day as the Series X. This was in 2019. Go and watch that episode. Okay, sorry for the tangent there. However, there are some announcements like the Series X, Stalker 2, As Dusk Falls, Hellblade 2, and most recently the ZeniMax acquisition that have flown under the radar for most everyone, or at least were never unleashed into the wild. Do you think Xbox has an ace or two up their sleeves, or is this E3 likely going to be all known quantities? Cheers.
Nick can only say so much.
There is, I believe there's an ace up their sleeve.
Yeah.
Now,
Force 2.
Okay, look, ace is a strong word. If you, Dio Game, because you're probably in the chat, if you mean ace as in
Final Fantasy 13 bombshell,
some big thing ace that we don't know about, or do you just mean anything we don't know about? Because the thing I'm thinking in my head that I know about, that no one knows about, that is supposed to be at E3, I don't know if it's going to be an ace. It's just a thing that I'm quite confident no one knows about because I've seen it mentioned nowhere. And if this thing is at E3, then I guess that would be an unknown thing that's been kept under wraps. Because I'm not
something
right
cool.
Now.
Maybe not the biggest, just I think people are hoping for something they haven't heard anything about.
Okay, anything we don't know about? Yes. There should be stuff there you don't know about. Dio Game's in the chat. He just said anything we don't know about. So yes, I am of the belief there will be stuff you don't know about.
Yeah, I think there'll be significant surprises. One in particular that I think is hurriedly being figured out. But yeah.
Okay.
You got to do them in order. I know you laughed at that one.
Widya Santoso, $10 super chat. Thanks so much. Hello all, first super chat. Idea for future guests. With Alana Pierce home. Yeah, you know what? I was just thinking about this because Alana Pierce is in Australia in quarantine at the moment. With Alana Pierce home, could we have Alana, Modern Vintage Gamer, and Gary Witter in a panel about expats in the US game industry? Yeah.
I don't know if MVG would come on, but I don't know about Gary or Alana. They probably who the hell are these guys?
They would do that. They would do it on Kind of Funny if they were going to do it anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if you know what, I wouldn't mind trying to reach out to Alana because she's in Australia and she's staying here for a while, so schedule-wise it's easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Jason A. I just realised who Jason A. is. He is the third Rocket League partner. It was all part of the blueprint, Carlos. Had to pass it back to Nick.
Good lord.
It's so funny.
Rocket League bants, honestly. In 2021 of all times.
I scored one of the most amazing goals in Rocket League that I had to take a clip, post it on Twitter, and posted it in the Discord. Wow. It was one of the classiest, most skillful
Chef's
goals.
kiss, yeah?
You will ever see in Rocket League. Like, I completely bamboozled the defender because I was driving away from the goals towards the wall. So this guy's like, and the ball was coming at me. So this guy's clearly thinking to himself, what the hell's this idiot doing? He's going to kick it my way. I've just allowed the ball to lightly graze the top of my roof, which has given it just enough to just put it straight over him.
You killed Jesse.
And into the it was such an amazing goal. So
you don't get to complain about Destiny rants anymore.
Here we go. Another super chat. The only one. It was all me, Nick. I didn't even see you on my screen, to be honest. Trying to steal my thunder.
Dogs. Oh, God. This is it. If you guys want to keep throwing super chats to argue about Rocket League bans, it's fine. I'm fine with it. I'll stay here all night, baby.
That's, you know what? If they want to, if they want to spend their money that way, that's fine.
Hey, Rocker Corey, how you doing? Glad to see you here.
Corey. He's relatively new to our community.
He
was
made
more
it
of a recent addition to the community after being more of a resetera mainstay.
Yep.
Okay, next question. Benaldo. Now, Benaldo, I asked, mate. Okay, one real question from me. What does that mean? Was the other question fake? Okay. The buzz around Sega a few months ago with nonsense like Aaron Greenberg posting hedgehogs has all died down. Do you think there was ever something in the works with Sega Sonic? Yes. If so, why has this now gone away? Could it be Microsoft pressing mute on PR until they make a big surprise announcement? So that's the first question. Yes. I think I've said this before. Microsoft were 100% looking at Sega. They were. It looks like nothing came of it because we're all here and Sega's still on their own.
Well, also, isn't like they've been redoing their entire corporate structure to get away from anything that could potentially be tied to the Yakuza?
Yeah.
That's been a big part of it.
Something like that. It looks like Sega are trying to lean themselves up, maybe for an acquisition. I don't know. But also, Sega appear to be all in on Game Pass.
Yeah, they're doing a lot with Microsoft and Game Pass.
Like they were so wrapped with how Yakuza did on Game Pass, and there should be more coming, like Persona, and maybe some other things. So yeah, I don't know if there'll be an acquisition thing, but yeah. Okay. I would also like to ask if you've heard any more on the issues with PES reboot since I asked last week. Switch to Unreal Engine. I did ask. I actually asked Benaldo. I asked one of the only person that I have that I think could know about PES. I asked them. I said, do you know what's going on with PES? And they laughed at me. So they clearly don't know what's going on with PES. I said, is there a chance you could find out? They might. I don't know. But so I did ask. I promise you I asked, and they don't know what's going on with PES. I am sorry. Okay. That's all right. All right. Next question. Sorry. I was checking the chat to see. I thought I saw something there. Okay. Torn Raptor. Hi, team. Question was for the man with the million, but because we were gonna have Rand on. But then Jez was annoying and did what he did, which means that they had to do their show at the same time as us, so we couldn't have Rand on. All right. But answers from all are welcome. What is the game you unlocked the full 1,000 gamer score for that you most enjoyed? And on the other side, what games did you stick with that you ultimately disliked just to unlock the full 1,000 gamer score from? Cheers, big ears.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Crackdown. Crackdown was easily my favourite 1,000 because that game is amazing. Crackdown, and I'm referring to Crackdown 1. That was the one I enjoyed the most. Games that I disliked, mate, I have gone and played games that I know I was going to hate just to get the easy 1,000. Oh, wow. I mean, we all did Avatar, surely, where you just spam B.
No, never did it.
For 5 minutes.
Never did it.
I'm looking it up. I don't know that I've ever 1,000 a game.
What?
Really?
Wow.
I honestly have never given a shit about achievements.
No,
I'm almost at 100,000 just by happenstance.
Well,
yeah,
I'm hastily...
I mean, you don't stick to Avatar because the 1,000 takes like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So I guess that one doesn't count. In terms of a game that I disliked that I stuck to just to get the 1,000, I can't say PlayStation games for the Platinum Trophy, can I? Because then it would be Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain was a painful Platinum Trophy. That shit was painful. That was horrible. In terms of Xbox games and the 1,000 gamer score. Wow. Like, I'm talking games that were long that I had to force my way through just to get the 1,000. Maybe Beowulf. The game based on the CG movie, Beowulf. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me. Beowulf.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of games that I've got 1,000, and I've got a few. Like I'm not normally like a huge achievements guy, but like I've 1,000 Genesis Noir, Untitled Goose Game, not Titanfall 2, 15 game score off there. It's a really tricky one. Little Nightmares 2, 1,000. Man, I would say if I play a game through to completion that I love, I guess Little Nightmares 2 for this year is probably the one that did require significant backtracking and replaying to do things slightly differently to get some of the trickier achievements. But a game that I ended up hating, even though I 1,000 it, was... Oh man, did I 1,000 it? Do you know what? I'm going to make an admission. I have got 1,000 gamer score in this game, and that is the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare released in 2007.
Yeah, so do I.
I've got 1,000 in that game, but you know the last trickiest achievement where you have to do the airplane hostage situation on
oh my god,
lethal or whatever the hardest difficulty is.
Yeah,
I tried for so long, and I had a LAN.
That was the worst.
And I just gave the pad to a friend of mine who's done it a few times, and he just smashed it out and got me that achievement. I'm pretty sure it was... I don't know if he listens to this podcast or not, but if you're listening... Yeah, Sky High.
I think the achievement's called Sky High.
Thank you. Yeah, that one. And I hated the game at that point. I had stopped playing, but he was there, and I was like, give me that achievement. So, yeah. JS 2097, a.k.a. Bob. Thank you for doing that, mate. Most appreciated.
I have one.
Oh, go on.
NBA 2K6, because it had 5 achievements. That's my 1,000 out of 1,000. I've got 5 other games where I'm over 1,000, but they're all ones that have more than that. So Division 2, Overwatch, Gems of War, Rocket League, and Halo Master Chief Collection. But at the beginning of the generation, from 2013 to 2015, I was on a different account because my brother kept the Doncabesa account, and he finally made his own, so I swapped back to it. So the original Titanfall, I 1,000 on that account, and that's the only other one I can think of.
Yeah, I love my Titanfall 1,000. Yeah.
I did the Gooser. I got Gooser before they nerfed it, where you had to shoot 100 pilots out of the air.
I think I got that after they changed it.
Yeah, they lowered it to be way less, but it was 100. 100 people when they eject, and you got
you have to kill them. That was an achievement.
Mile High Club. It wasn't Sky High. It was Mile High Club.
Oh, Sky High. Sorry, Jason. Sorry.
Yeah, and also the only one. It was all me, Nick. I didn't even see you on my screen, to be honest. Again, what? Super chat appeared again.
Oh, a second one? No,
I can see it on my screen. That's really weird.
You only did that once. You only did that once.
I can see it again. Sorry, I don't know why it's on my chat on the screen.
The
one I would shout out, because I'm quite proud of this, the original Geometry Wars. It's not 1,000, it's 200 out of 200, because it was an old school arcade game. But think about that. Look at some of the achievements for the original Geometry Wars.
That was a really hard one.
200
I don't think
I've
got 200 in that.
The worst thing, and I keep telling this story and none of my friends believe me, I was playing Geometry Wars and I'd been trying to beat a friend of mine. There was often a lot of competition. And I beat his high score, and for some reason, my 360 had lost connectivity to the internet. So even though I'd beaten his high score, and I paused it because I'd beaten it and tried to reconnect, and it said it had reconnected, and I carried on playing, and I got as far as I could, and I knew I'd beaten it, it didn't save the score, and I was mad, and that's the time I stopped playing. But I'd already unlocked all the achievements, 200 out of 200, so I'm quite proud of that.
That's retroactive karma for you playing
probably.
Sea of Thieves for too long.
Whoa, come on.
And being late for the podcast.
I was late by 4 minutes. It was worth it.
Retroactive karma.
The game I hated that I got 1,000 of the 1,000 on, Loco Cycle. There you go.
Oh, did you get the 1,000 on that?
I'm literally scrolling.
I'm trying at the moment. I'm going back to it to try and force my way to get the 1,000 on it.
No, stop. It's horrible.
I need to though. It's not hard, is it?
No, it's just a terrible game.
Actually, playing the game is the hard part.
I don't
mind.
It's not
hard itself.
It's not that bad.
Ugh,
It's okay.
It's pretty bad.
it's pretty bad.
Okay, here we go. Well,
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back.
here we go.
I'll be right back. Oh, don't tell me you've got props as well. We've got to wait for Jesse. Is Jesse bringing props, or has he just left?
I don't know what he's doing.
Do you know what turned up today?
Oh wow, the t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm wearing that one.
Good one. It's a good t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's a good t-shirt. Be proud of it.
It's got my old name on the back though.
I think Jesse's has actually left. I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah.
He's getting
There
a
he
drink. Oh, he's back. Hey, he's wearing it as well.
Oh, he's got that one as well.
We're on brand, people. We're on brand.
Okay. Need to get a lot of puff in for this one. Okay. All right. Hello, my little penally wenally woo. I was thinking the other day of games we used to play at work during downtimes and how video games can replace those social experiences. Oh my God, what are all these games? Okay. Stage weight curling, where one would mop the loading bay while your teammate curled a stage weight, 12.5 or 25 kilos. Either was allowed and points scored as usual. Chair sprint, where a chair would be gaffer taped to each foot like a shoe and a sprint through the auditorium to find a winner. The office chair mop joust. Self-explanatory, really. The perpetual pulley, where you would run some rope through a pulley in the grid down to the floor. Yeah, so hold on. Where you would run some rope through a pulley in the grid down to the floor and make a bowline at one end to place a foot in. Okay. A bowline, that's a bowline knot, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not a knot tire. You would then see how far you could pull yourself before falling or getting scared. A more hardcore mode version would use Sisal, S-I-S-A-L, Sisal,
Yeah.
Sisal, rather than Manila hemp, which would tear your hands apart. Wretched stuff.
Type of rope, I think here.
Is that what Sisal is?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is the material, the coating. I think it's quite rough. It's a bit rough. Cerys, what are these words? Sukia, you had too much to drink. You said you were going to bed. He's still here.
Okay. So that was the perpetual pulley. Postman's knock in the cloth store, a darkened variation of the classic. Sick may have to explain.
Now, Postman's knock. Well, the only thing I can think of would be knock down ginger. So, Cerys, you're gonna have to confirm. Am I along the right lines here? This might be a localization issue here in the UK. If I'm thinking Postman's knock, I would say knock down ginger. Is this the same thing? I don't know. Well, we'll see. Knock down ginger, if I'm right, is where you knock on someone's door and then you run away and they open it and there's no one there. An evil version of Knockdown Ginger is you fill a paper bag with dog poo.
With dog crap.
And then you set it on fire. And then you knock on the door.
Billy Madison.
Yeah.
I love Billy Madison.
It involved answering the door and kissing someone. I had never played that, Cerys. Clearly, I've missed out on my childhood.
That's new.
Can't play that one anymore.
Yeah. I stopped playing that one last week.
Okay. The ever-present broom trick. Not for the faint of heart or weak of constitution. My favourite, though, was always Auditorium Nerf Wars. Essentially a battle royale with Nerf guns in a darkened auditorium. We would leap between rows of chairs, hiding in corners, and on one majestic occasion, someone braver than I climbing up the steel wire, focusing ladder into the lighting truss. I read that. I reckon I read that.
Yeah, you got away with it. You got away with it. I got it.
Pulling it up behind them and camping 20 metres up so they could snipe others. It made me think I should ask the panel. If you were to have a dinner party, let's just assume you are classy enough. I am not. Which character from which game would you invite and for what reason? Oh, and let's say no one can invite Master Chief. He is the one cooking. How did we go from office games to dinner parties?
Who would I invite?
Her dinner parties involve Nerf guns.
Well, there's a lot to unpack here. Let's be honest.
Which character from which game would you invite, and for what reason?
Because I've been playing, I started to play Fallout 4. I am gonna pick is it Codsworth from the beginning of Fallout 4, the robot butler? Because
Never played it.
yeah, because he looks like he's a dab hand in the kitchen, and he might put on an interesting meal, sing a tune or two, look after the kids. Yeah, it'd be quite handy to have. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Codsworth. If not that, then the Locust Queen from Gears of War, because she's got to have a story or two to tell.
Okay.
What about you?
I think I would go with Atriox. If I become friends with him, he'll just destroy all of my enemies. So,
yeah,
God, I can't.
That would be really expensive to feed him, though. Shit. I'll stick with him.
I can't even think of someone.
Someone from a game.
Yeah, I know. That question's caught me by surprise.
You could have.
I can't have a Rocket League car.
You could have Kratos. Kratos from God of War.
Ah, yeah, Kratos. Yeah, I'll go with Kratos.
Get your Greek on.
An angry Greek man. Have an angry Greek man at my dinner table, but at least he'd be easy to cook for.
Then there'd be two angry Greek men.
Super brood. Don't invite a Rocket League car, Nick. And then as he was asking that, I was like, I can't have a Rocket League car, can I?
He knows you too well.
Hey, well, hold on. Sega put the Daytona car in a fighting game.
That's
so
true.
Why can't I have a Rocket League car at dinner?
You just put a
if you're good at making chili dogs, you can just have Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic? I could have Sonic. Oh, yeah, I could have Sonic. Yeah, it'd either be Sonic or Kratos. Kratos would be easier to cook for.
Trav.
Because we eat Greek food. We eat Greek food anyway.
Liara to Sony.
Is that from Mass Effect?
I know what he's talking about.
Is that from Mass Effect?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have Matriarch Benezia, but I've got kids, so it wouldn't be appropriate.
It wouldn't be appropriate.
Would you serve them food touched by flies? I wouldn't, Brit, but the other two might.
Yeah.
If I get
a maximum
Atriox,
of
the
10.
monkey, he wants flies.
Yeah. Only a maximum of 10 flies, though. Any more than that, and it's a no-go for everybody, right?
No flies. Mine would be mosquitoes.
Ugh. As always, Cerys, a wonderful question, full of strangeness, and I love it.
Blast the Base has jumped on. No witty comment from me. Give this dude Doncabesa $10.
Thank you very much, Base. You know you don't have to do that anymore. You're part of the team.
Yeah, I made one of your review videos. It was very good. It was a well-written review.
Yeah. I mean, a few of us are patrons.
Yeah.
Hey, I gave $1, so that would be giving me back. Well, I've only done it 3 months, but still.
Still.
Okay.
Oh God.
All right, I think we covered that question. The Scarecrow 101. Firstly, happy late birthday to Sika Kaneko. Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
I wished him happy birthday in Discord.
Thank you.
Wishes of Warzone and Destiny PvP wins to Figments.
Jesse will take him.
And hail to the chief, not Insider Rand and his lieutenant, Special Nick. Why am I Rand's lieutenant?
It should be the other way around, yeah?
That's right. Rand predicts, I leak. So he is my sidekick. Rand is my sidekick. I don't care that he's got more followers and stuff. He's my sidekick. But we did, as you all saw, we don't have Rand on, sorry. And he's asked a question for Rand straight away. But you know what? If Rand is still watching, I don't know if he is, but if Rand is still watching, firstly, Rand, could you give your dog a hug for me? He is a good boy, and please consider a patron or tip jar. It sucks.
I could do a Rand impression.
It sucks getting up at the ass crack of dawn on my only day off to make sure I get a super chat away to you while your show is live. Yeah, because Scarecrow is Aussie, so he'd have to be up at like 7 a.m. So for him to be saying ass crack of dawn for 7 a.m., I'm guessing Scarecrow doesn't have kids.
Yeah.
Because 7 a.m. is virtually a sleep-in for me. Okay, question is for everyone. Seeing as everyone is now expecting Xbox E3 to be lacking due to no release for Starfield in 2021 and potential no-shows for other games due to COVID, what is your crazy, way out there prediction for something big happening during the show? Damn, it sucks that I can't answer this question.
Yeah, Nick's not allowed to answer this one.
Yeah, he can't because he just be saying what he.
Damn,
Oh,
I can't answer this question.
Then you know it is.
Well, I could come up with something else. Something crazy, out there prediction for something happening during the big show. I reckon they're gonna announce a Banjo-Kazooie remaster. That would be crazy.
Oh, man.
Crazy. And don't get me wrong, this isn't insider information. I have no idea if that's happening. I think it would be a good thing, and it would galvanize a lot of jaded Banjo fans into finally seeing, instead of seeing the character on Ninty's stage or as an amiibo or whatever other thing that isn't an actual game on the Xbox, it would be a good, easy way to make some money.
You do realize that Idle Sloth and WCCF Tech are already writing the tweets and articles now?
Probably.
How are they not working on a Banjo remake?
I have no idea.
It's like the easiest money they could possibly... Like, Banjo is bigger than... In name, Banjo is basically the biggest mascot platformer outside Mario and Sonic. And many to this day still believe that Banjo-Kazooie is better than Mario 64. It is. Like, it aged... I'm sorry, but Banjo-Kazooie aged far better than Mario 64. It's like, maybe if you were comparing them directly back then, the argument could be made that Mario 64 was better. But playing them now, like 20 years later or whatever it is, Banjo-Kazooie's aged way better than Mario 64. Mario 64 has aged like horrible off milk.
Yeah. The thing is, if it's a remake or a remaster where they have the game engine running in the background,
like Crash, proper remake.
Yeah, whatever they do, they could throw the prettiest graphics at it and just make it look ridiculous, because there's not a lot going under the hood. There's no big physics engine to worry about. You just do.
No.
But it would just
AI.
Sell. Yeah, it would just do the job.
No AI to worry about. You could literally make it look like a CG movie. Like, just. Come on. Why do we have to keep telling you people how to do your jobs, Xbox?
They seem keen on letting the studios make what they want. But, maybe that would be a publishing thing, finding a developer to do things like this.
Thank you, Anorexic. It could look like a Pixar movie. Exactly.
It really could. It really could look phenomenal. Because
maybe they're waiting for UE5.
Bill, get on the phone, buy WB, and get Traveller's Tales. Get Traveller's Tales, because then you'd have your kids' studio. So buy WB, get Traveller's Tales to make Banjo, Cameo, Conker.
Conker wasn't really a kids' game.
Too. Oh.
Come on, like this,
Conker Junior.
Discovery doesn't want games. They'll sell it all off. Yeah. Get in there and buy it. Come on.
Who knows?
E3 announced. Come on. All right. Next question. Cartoon Soldier. Is that the last? No, there are 2 questions left. Cartoon Soldier. My question. Hello, great people. I started playing MELE, so Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and am loving it. As much as the games can be played via BC, what EA did with no major changes but updating the graphics and quality of life updates makes this experience much better. What are some games that Microsoft has which could be great this kind of treatment on? Especially ones that can be released as a collection. I would love to replay Fable 1 and 2, add 3 too, I guess, in an updated collection before Playground's Fable release. Oh, Banjo. We just spoke about Banjo.
Quite well.
We already got Master Chief. We got Gears 1.
Yeah, they wet their whistle with Gears 1 Ultimate.
But the thing is, Gears
Even
2...
getting FPS boost on 2 and 3 would be huge.
Yeah. Like, because
those need a better...
Yeah.
Yeah, like, now that Gears 2 and 3 are X-enhanced and already almost look like Gen 8 games, FPS boost them and make them 60, and it's almost like they're remastered, to be honest.
Yeah, they look great.
Especially with how they look with the 1X enhanced for the resolution. Once you put the 60 frames per second, especially any of those that have decent anti-aliasing, they look significantly better than they did at 30. Just from that, Mad Max at 120 is gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous because that game was fuzzy as hell when it released, but when it runs at 120 on my monitor, it looks really good.
Yeah. What else could Microsoft bring back? A collection? They just said Fable.
Yeah, well, he's put Fable in there, but I actually don't think you'll ever see, because you've seen there was a remaster of Fable 1 and it was still
Anniversary.
Yeah, it was still awful. Don't get me wrong, Fable 1 is the best Fable, in my opinion. But
why is Anniversary bad?
Because it still runs like absolute dog shit. It's still it's still 30. It's still like the art's just been like high def rather than redone. I don't think you'll ever see full remakes of any of the Fables, because I think they were notoriously unstable.
Okay. Fable 1, Halo 1, and Halo 2, the OG versions still aren't backwards compatible?
Doesn't surprise me. I don't think they'll ever will be now. They've got their excuse as to why.
No. Halo 1 and 2 were announced as BC. They were going to be BC after the Master Chief Collection came out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just won't bother.
So I'm in the flighting for Master Chief Collection on PC flight or Season 7 flighting, and they've gone back and fixed all the crappy Vista version graphic bugs that Halo CE has. So that could be their excuse as to why, but once they get back to BC games, I would imagine those would be at the top of their list because they're the ones that are brought up the most. You'd hope.
But it makes no sense not to have the games you have full control over.
Yeah.
To at least pump up the numbers. Look, instead of 20 games, we now have 50. Yeah.
Remember, they showed off the system link between the three generations at the time. So you think they will. Things seem very pushed back in that area. Like, they haven't shown the resolution boost they showed to Digital Foundry, last summer. They haven't even talked about that yet. Yeah. So it definitely feels like there are things that are pushed back significantly from, the whole pandemic situation. So I would hope over time, the next year or two, they start getting through all that stuff, go back to backwards compatibility, and those are at the top of the list.
They better be. I can't think of anything else where Microsoft has like a series. My mind's gone blank. What else have they got? Forza Horizon 1 was already enhanced, and 2 was already next gen anyway.
Well,
so they're delisted. So they're
they're delisted, whatever. So that's not going to happen. God, I can't even think of anything else, to be honest. I'm sure there's stuff we're just not thinking of.
Yeah.
But Banjo was the first thing that came to mind. And we talked about it. Yeah, Project Gotham's not going to happen.
Oh.
I do wonder if there's any way they could get into those and chop out the music and make them actually a possibility.
But the music would be the problem. It'd be the cars.
Cars. Yeah.
Car licenses, yeah.
I'm thinking of things like the GTA 3. Like, if you can get in there and you can chop out the music, because they've done it on Steam, where they've removed tracks that they've lost the licenses for.
Sam Knight.
It's very different systems.
Mechasalt.
Sam Knight in the chat with Mechasalt. Great shout. Loved Mechasalt 1 and 2. There you go. That's another one that I would love to see.
I want that giant controller.
That's Steel Battalion you're thinking of. But yes, I also want that giant controller.
Make that giant controller work with everything, though. Then that would actually be worth it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that's actually a series for Microsoft on their plate, really. That hasn't.
Yeah, that's old enough. That's also then old enough to get that treatment. Yeah. And the X enhancements to certain games sort of put a spanner in the works. It's a tricky one. Okay, last question. Fable hype. We know him as Nintendo the GOAT. Okay. Hello, John and Nick, and Doncabesa. with the recent screenshots and new gameplay footage of Psychonauts 2, how much more excited are you to play the game? Much love as always, Nintendo the Go. I will say that I was legitimately surprised at how good Psychonauts 2 looked visually.
Pretty.
I was very surprised.
That is just screen space reflections, right? It isn't ray tracing.
I don't think it's ray tracing.
It's not listed. It wasn't listed on the store page. Like the Ascent has ray tracing listed at the bottom of it, and they didn't have that while Psychonauts 2 was up.
It looks really nice.
Yeah, like that delay has done wonders for the visuals.
Yeah.
Because
It's very Wasteland 3 for me, where it looks significantly better than the last time they showed it versus after Microsoft acquired them.
Yeah.
It that looked. I was really surprised. I'm like, that looks legitimately good visually. Like, that was nice.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing Psychonauts 2 a lot.
Yeah.
I've deliberately stopped watching anything. I saw a couple of the screens, I saw some GIFs, and I was like, nope, I don't want to go in, because the beauty of that game is going to be the variety and all of the different levels. Like, everything's going to be constantly changing on you, and I Double Fine are just crazy anyway, so you're going to see some crazy stuff. So yeah, I'm very excited to play that game. And I'm looking forward to the XboxEra review of it for some very particular reasons that I won't share yet. But it's going to be a really fun one for the community on this particular occasion.
One of the few that isn't by me.
Yeah, or me.
Oh, okay. It's on me.
We're like over half of them.
For business in the chat, we still have no Jet Set Radio Future remastered from Sega. Maybe Microsoft can breathe it new life. How about make it BC?
Yeah. That would be cool.
Because
Again,
BC games are like 4K 60 anyway. How about they just make it BC? That'll
and the
give it new life.
art style would carry 4K 60 just fine on
Holds
Jet
up.
Are those songs Sega's or were they made by people?
Can't remember.
Because there's so much music in that game. I always wonder. That stuff's always weird.
I think they're Sega's.
I've never heard of Sega, but I wonder if Sega owns them.
No, I think they're Sega's.
Shout out for a Togi in the chat as well. Another good one. A Togi 1 and 2 would be great to see. They looked gorgeous at the time. I bet they wouldn't look so gorgeous now if I saw them in motion again in delightful 480p or whatever it was. But at the time, they looked phenomenal.
They everything jumps up to 4K, and anything that had decent texture work, like Black and Ninja Gaiden, when I went back to them, they still look really good.
Yeah. Ninja Gaiden looks really good.
Yeah, I still think that's an absolutely brilliant. I'd love to
I imagine Ninja Gaiden Black's gonna look similar to that remaster they're doing. I really wouldn't doubt it.
I'm in two minds about picking up the Ninja Gaiden, however you pronounce it, trilogy.
Sigma.
Because but then I've never played
I
the
have
Sigma
the trilogy
versions,
now.
so I can't judge them harshly because I've seen all the bad press they get. But I really love. But then I'm also very old now, and I'm not the quick reflexes that I used to have. So I'd probably play them and go,
my ass.
"Oh, I can't do this," and then I'd just be a ninja dog, and I would play on easy or
Well, I already bought Ninja Gaiden. I took the hit and I bought Ninja Gaiden 2 for $50 on Xbox 360.
They didn't take the bait. It still hasn't gone on sale since.
Still hasn't gone down yet.
Your
But it hasn't been that long. Give it time.
something. Sued.
But yeah.
And that's it. That is the end of our community questions.
Everything.
So typically now, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. I think we're probably about ready to call it quits. And
I'm going to go have some breakfast.
I'm going to go to bed. And Jesse's probably going to go review another 12 games for XboxEra.
Yeah.
As he does. But
Jason,
how did you know?
Carlo, if you're watching, jump on some Rocket League in a sec. If you guys are still watching.
Yeah, you could do. But as always, to our wonderful community and everybody watching in the chat, love you lots. It's been really fun hanging out with you this evening, and for me especially because it's been, 5 hours or something of live streaming now. So I'm tired and my eyes are a bit blazed. But I'm hoping to see some clips from the stream. I will be reaching out to the crew that in the last moments, and it wasn't because we failed, it's because we ran out of stuff to shoot at you, that finally sank the black hole. So I'm gonna find out the gamer tags and you'll all receive a T-shirt from the XboxEra store. So I will reach out and speak to you guys on that. And yeah,
before too many people quit out, I do have something to promote.
Oh, please promote away, sir.
Yes, this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, America, we are having Miles Dompierre of Windows Central on You Had Me at Halo.
Oh, cool.
So that'll be exciting.
That's a great show.
It'll be a live show again, right here on the same channel. So
and lots of
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Pure Halo chit chat as well. Nothing else but Halo.
Mm-hmm.
None of this. What do you think we're going to see at E3? Unless it relates to Halo, and then that question.
Yes, we will definitely be going over. It's the road to E3 2021 with Miles Dompierre.
Oh,
speaking of which,
sounds exciting.
Are we doing another old E3 watch like we did the 2003 one?
Yes, there is another one on the cards. I believe the next E3 that Mike has queued up.
05 or 06?
It's one of 06, I think. Now you've said it. So
Am
again,
I on that one or you?
It depends again on time zone. It'll probably end up being you. I do want to do one of them, but it's only because they were really fun. And if you're in the chat,
you need to do a Halo podcast too.
Yes, I will be. I will be on the Halo podcast soon. I promise. There'll be a good time for me to do that soon. Maybe after it's been shown off a bit.
Okay.
But yeah, if you haven't seen the old watch of E3, Nick, Cargay Maru, and One Bad Mother got together and watched Xbox 2003.
2003. And it was just like an off-camera, someone from GameSpot recording it. It
was awful.
Yeah, because it wasn't broadcast back then. And man, that was actually a really strong E3. Like, if you actually, like they had games like Crimson Skies in a montage. Like, that's like, I don't know. Like, they had big name. KOTOR was part of the montage. Crimson Sky is part of the montage. All these Dino Crisis 3. I mentioned Jaw Muncher, and then I tagged him in the Discord. I was like, man, go watch it. They had Dino Crisis 3 there. There was this extreme volleyball game where they did full-on gratuitous butt shots, which you could not do.
The Dead or Alive beach volleyball. Yeah.
It wasn't Dead or Alive. It was some other.
Wasn't even that one? Oh,
no,
God.
It wasn't Dead or Alive. It was some other random beach volleyball game, and the camera just kept showing women's butts with G's.
The early 2000s were just wild.
Yeah, very different time. But yeah, please go and watch that video. Like and subscribe, please. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, please do so. Even just $1. We have the tip jar. Even just
that's what I do. It's worth it.
And you know, hey, all 2021 patrons get a copy of Omega Rally Championship.
Thanks to NRX.
Thanks to NRX. There's another reason to jump in.
Fun little game.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
Yep. All right. Well, look, we're gonna crash. We're gonna call it a day. Thank you to everybody. Be sure to like, subscribe, and all of that fun stuff. And we will see you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Ciao for now.
Bye-bye.